This guy, in order to become stronger, does 10,000 squats every single day, no matter if it was blazing hot, freezing cold, or storming with snow. He always stayed in the same spot because through that window, he could see a beautiful view that made his heart race. That's how he ended up joining the track and field club. But this action eventually caught the attention of the club president. When the terrifying president started sharpening his metaphorical blades like he was about to slaughter pigs and sheep, the boy panicked, thinking he was exposed. He quickly blamed someone else, but the president ignored all of it. Everyone was stunned when the president said the boy's dedication to squatting every day had deeply moved him, and he declared him the next leader of the track team. The boy wanted to explain that he was only there to peek at swimsuits, but after looking at the 50-meter-long pillar in the president's hand, he decided to shut up. After school that day, he complained to his childhood friend Pangtai about how he always says the right things for the moment, but never expresses his true feelings. All he really wants is to get along with girls. Suddenly, Pangtai pulled out several large boxes of youth cultivation manuals passed down through generations and gave them all to the boy, asking for just 100 yen to buy water for poor children. Pangtai explained he had worshipped a statue called the ungrateful cat. If you offered something, you could pass things you don't need to someone who does. Pangtai even offered his waifu pillow and wished to rid himself of carnal desires, which worked instantly. The boy, inspired and eager, brought his own waifu pillow named Barbara and set off. At the location, he unexpectedly ran into a girl named Yuko. When Yuko saw the pillow behind him, she screamed and ran thinking he was a pervert. They ended up running over 200 laps before he accidentally tackled her, making her cry in fear. The boy quickly got up, apologized while holding his pillow, and after explaining everything, Yuko smiled and even gave him a meat bun. Please cherish this version of Yuko who still smiles. Yuko had wanted to stop being so expressive and become more mature, so they prayed together. After a blinding golden light, it seemed like nothing happened, but suddenly Yuko turned very cold and aloof. The next day, on the way to school, the boy saw someone confessing to the proud blonde tsundere girl Kodama and getting rejected. Watching nearby, the boy suddenly shouted out his real feelings uncontrollably and publicly mocked her flat chest. The entire crowd felt secondhand embarrassment. To make the now cold Yuko laugh again, the boy used his ultimate family technique. He was actually a well-hidden pervert, but ever since he wished at the ungrateful cat to be able to express real emotions instead of faking niceties, he couldn't stop speaking bluntly and got caught by the president too. When he saw the president's pants, he blurted out something again. Since then, people called him the pervert prince. One day, Yuko came looking for him, and he didn't recognize her at first until she tackled him again. Then he remembered she was the girl he had made a wish with. They returned to the ungrateful cat. Yuko regretted her wish because she lost both her expressions and her meat buns and begged for them back. The boy said he had already passed his fake manners to someone else and likely couldn't get them back. Then he had an idea to make Yuko laugh. He tickled her like crazy, but it didn't help, and he looked more like a pervert and even got bitten by Yuko. Then Yuko came up with a plan. If they found someone who didn't need fake manners or wanted to hide their emotions, she could get hers back. So they teamed up. The boy always ended up injured and needed Yuko to take care of him, especially since he and the club president were now enemies. Kodama happened to be on the bed next to his in the infirmary, and the boy shamelessly showed off his perverted side. Kodama couldn't handle it and ran away blushing. Meanwhile, Yuko kicked the bed angrily, but they both realized Kodama had the boy's fake manners. He chased after her right away. Kodama tried to stay calm and perfect on the outside, but the boy was even more outrageous. The girl in front of him was a rich heiress admired by thousands, and not long ago she got her first pet. Every day the boy waited as her pet and even used her belly button as a canvas during lunch, kindly reminding her not to catch a cold. His true goal in becoming her pet was to get back the fake manners now possessed by Kodama. Yuko suggested he just pick another target to reclaim his ability, clearly jealous, but the boy refused to give up. They went to a nearby town's animal cafe to make a new plan. Inside were not just cats, but people dressed as all kinds of animals. As soon as they sat down, they saw Kodama working there as a maid. She stormed over to question the boy, but had to switch roles because of work and served him as his pet instead. Eventually, she couldn't take the humiliation and ran away crying. Yuko, unable to watch anymore, dragged the boy away, straight to a place called the Love Hotel. But her real plan was just to hide there until Kodama finished her shift so they could talk. Before long, they got kicked out by a single man who looked at them enviously. So the boy and Yuko, the boy planned to talk things out properly with Kodama at school the next day, but on the way back home, he stumbled upon something unexpected. Kodama had transformed into a part-time warrior, lifting bricks at a construction site. The boy immediately recorded a short video and invited Kodama to watch it, revealing that she was working this hard just to maintain the image of being a rich heiress. Kodama didn't deny it, and to get her to open up, the boy invited her on a weekend date. Though Kodama hesitated, worried about her pride, she eventually agreed. Naturally, Yuko couldn't let such an opportunity slip by and followed them that weekend. Surrounded by lovey-dovey couples, the boy led Kodama straight to a bridal shop. Kodama's face went pale, and she panicked, grabbing him and running away. It was too fast for her, but the boy took it even further by bringing her to the entrance of a maternity hospital. That's when Yuko finally stepped in, scaring the boy as she defended him, proving he would never do such things. The two girls immediately clashed, creating intense tension. Then the trio arrived at Denmaru City, where Kodama spent all her money trying to grab a turtle from a claw machine but failed. Yuko couldn't take it anymore. She activated her inner gaming master and with just a look and a flick won the turtle and gave it to Kodama. Turns out Yuko was a gaming pro, especially at taiko drumming, and although she and Kodama were like fire and water earlier, now they were throwing plushies at each other like friends. When the boy commented on how beautiful summer friendships between girls were, Kodama suddenly changed expressions and went to the bathroom alone. Yuko felt she might have pushed Kodama too far. It turns out Yuko was actually the younger sister of the club president Pillar. When she mentioned she was on a date, the president exploded with rage, and the boy had no choice but to use his lost family technique, the dragon claw grip. This guy was known as the school's biggest pervert. Even a fallen flower petal on a girl's belly button would excite him. To get back the surface manners he lost, he tried to get closer to Kodama, who had accidentally absorbed them. But just when he was making progress, the president showed up and messed everything up, leaving Kodama alone, where she ran into classmates from her old school who mocked and bullied her. That broke her connection with the boy. The next day, he went straight to her house. Despite her mom's eccentric hairstyle, she let him in and even tried to help, but Kodama had locked herself in her room. That night, encouraged by Yuko, the boy decided to investigate Kodama's past and discovered that she had been bullied by fake friends at her previous school. After scolding those girls, he rushed back to Kodama's house and invited her to visit the ungrateful cat. During the ride, his heartfelt words slowly opened Kodama's heart, but because the ungrateful cat's effect was still active, the boy bluntly rejected her. Kodama realized he only wanted his surface manners back and everything was just a misunderstanding. She cried in his arms until night, finally relaxing once she knew he truly wanted to be friends. Kodama then returned the surface manners to Himashinim, but little did they know a girl had been watching all along. 1 year ago, Yuko first met the boy while wearing a mask and slowly developed feelings for him. They had promised to meet again at this same school a year later, but now the boy only interacted with Kodama and didn't recognize Yuko as that masked girl from the past. When Yuko saw Kodama asking him out again, her jealousy boiled over. She demanded he go on a date with her too. The boy agreed easily. Yuko shared stories from her time as a kindergarten teacher, disguising her past encounters with him as just tales. But the boy didn't realize she had once been his masked teacher, leaving Yuko disappointed. She stared out the window at her older sister, Pillar, hiding a secret pain. The boy asked why the sisters were so distant. This same boy, knowing a little girl was changing in the locker room, still barged in without shame. But Yuko didn't blame him. She blamed herself for not finding a profitable skill. Orphaned at a young age, Yuko had always been expressive and depended on her sister. As their relationship worsened, she asked the ungrateful cat to take her expressions away. One day, while playing with the boy, Pillar caught them. The boy tried to explain, and when accused of cheating, he claimed the guy that day was actually his twin brother. Miraculously, Pillar believed him. The boy then learned that the ungrateful cat was a creation of Pillar to comfort her sister. That evening, after walking Yuko home, he was ambushed by Pillar. Before getting smacked, he asked why she was interfering in Yuko's life. He explained everything about Yuko, but Pillar didn't believe it was the cat's doing and knocked him out. When he woke up, Yuko was beside him. He quickly told her that her sister wanted to cut ties, but Yuko wasn't bothered. She cared more about her bond with the boy and feared losing it if her emotions returned. To help her, the boy challenged Pillar to a duel the next day in front of the ungrateful cat. As they fought, they compared their love for Yuko. Every word Pillar said was filled with deep sisterly love, which shocked the boy who had thought their relationship was completely broken. Yuko arrived just in time to stop the fight, and both apologized to her for acting without her consent. Yuko was surprised to hear how much Pillar loved her. Then the boy pulled out Pillar's college application form, which listed a university in Massachusetts, proof that she planned to leave Yuko and go abroad after graduation. But Yuko said Juzi couldn't even spell all 26 letters, but she seemed to be hiding something deeper. It turned out the boy had underestimated her. When both he and Yuko pressed her, she finally revealed that she had made a childhood promise with Yuko, that no matter what, they'd always stay together through life and death. Upon learning the truth behind Yuko losing her expressions, Juzi immediately demanded the ungrateful cat return Yuko's emotions. Otherwise, it would receive 80 hammer strikes. In the next moment, a magical emoji pack dropped from the sky, and although it was meant for Yuko, she gave it to her sister Juzi instead, which led the sisters to reconcile. Only then did the boy realize this meant Yuko would permanently remain emotionless, but she didn't mind. From that moment on, the ungrateful cat's powers vanished, and so did the boy's underwear, and his house got stolen too. Without any sense of shame left, he acted shamelessly even in front of two girls, confidently flaunting himself for a full 6 seconds. One day on his way home, the boy was shocked to discover his entire house had been stolen. He called his childhood friend Pang Tai, but Pang Tai refused to believe him. Rain started pouring, and Yuko took this chance to sneak in. The boy suspected this was related to the ungrateful cat's powers, but Yuko said they had already disappeared. Just then their stop arrived, and under the never-ending rain, the boy decided decided to show some brotherly manliness. When he sneezed, Yuko suddenly spoke up and brought him to the bathhouse. As Yuko left, the boy started spouting shameless flirtations again, but Yuko ignored him and simply pointed out that the police station was next door. Meanwhile, Kodama was in Okinawa with her 2 former classmates, girls the boy had forced to come along, though he didn't show up himself. Kodama was furious. When asked if they were dating, Kodama, too proud to deny it, claimed they had been together for ages and that the boy was her prince. While she was happily chatting, one of the girls, Mori, suddenly fainted. Back with the boy, he was still hoping for a random cute girl twist, but Juzi, Yuko's sister, was about to barge in. The boy, lacking shame, opened the door and welcomed her with a huge grin. His shameless T-Rex-like behavior horrified Juzi, who immediately wrapped him in a blanket like a monster and forced him to apologize to Yuko. Then the boy casually admitted he had once seen Yuko partially naked, which pushed Juzi over the edge. She unleashed a flurry of attacks on him until she passed out, allowing the boy to escape. But as Juzi dozed off in a daze, she mistook the boy for Yuko and started cuddling him, making his face flush red. The boy realized Juzi had her own complicated story, and he called Kodama, who had now patched things up with her old classmates and truly become friends. Meanwhile, the boy accidentally wandered into a bathhouse, thinking he had left the lights on. As he nervously tried to leave, Juzi caught him red-handed. He dodged her strike and saw a freshly washed Yuko, which stopped Juzi in her tracks. Her expressions began to return. The boy fled outside and found a strange house. Thinking it was Yuko's storage, he walked in and saw his beloved pillow. This was actually his own house. He even discovered another ungrateful cat statue there. At this point, the boy was like a winner among loyal dogs, 2 girls fighting over him, with the long-haired one pulling out classic simp tools. After many twists, he found his house had been moved to Yuko's backyard. He stayed there overnight. The next morning, Yuko found him surrounded by study materials and cultivation manuals, and punished him hard. Wanting to understand the origin of the giant, ungrateful cat statue, the boy returned to school to ask Juzi and learned that her family had long worshipped it. Their close interaction sparked jealousy from other club members, one of whom spoke even more pervertedly than the boy himself. But Juzi didn't care. She was more concerned about how the boy knew about her family's cat statue. As usual, the boy blamed his non-existent twin brother and promised to help Juzi hunt him down. Still, Juzi remained suspicious. After earning her partial trust, the boy suggested seducing the twin brother to understand his connection with Yuko. Gullible Juzi agreed immediately. The boy went to the ungrateful cat to make a wish, but just then Kodama called, asking why he wasn't answering. He casually said he wanted to see her in a swimsuit, and Kodama instantly descended from the sky. Realizing how effective the ungrateful cat's powers were, the boy rushed to tell Yuko, but Juzi appeared again before he could finish. Turns out, Juzi had planned to sacrifice herself to seduce the boy, hoping to understand his bond with Yuko. During dinner, she flirted outrageously, making Kodama insanely jealous. Kodama stood up and boldly claimed the boy as her own simp. Not to be outdone, Juzi challenged her, and suddenly the boy was a hot commodity. But Yuko couldn't take it anymore. With a calm voice and cruel words, she cut through the nonsense. After dinner, she finally realized the boy's house had likely been moved by her own wish to the ungrateful cat. Though she never intended for the house to disappear, it must have misunderstood her. As the boy lay in bed thinking about the ungrateful cat, Juzi suddenly pounced, trying to seal the deal with him to increase her value in Yuko's eyes. This boy, a certified pervert, could still grip the whole world tightly even in a collapsing storm. Because of Juzi's wish, the boy's house completely vanished, and the rain kept pouring harder. They hurried back inside. Kodama, as usual, could only stew in jealousy. Tomorrow was the school's opening ceremony, and that night, the boy stayed up wondering if Juzi's wish might have caused the world's end. Maybe only the warehouse had collapsed? He didn't sleep at all. Then everyone realized their phones were dead, and the TV had no signal. Since there's still a typhoon outside, school will likely be cancelled, so everyone just lay around bored at home. Yuko wanted to play a round of Big Commoner with the group, but then the rainwater started flooding the first floor. With leaks everywhere, Juzi had no choice but to open up her secret attic, a space covered in Yuko's childhood photos, which Yuko had never seen before. While helping move things, the boy noticed memorial tablets of Yuko's parents, and just like that, he met her family. But now the rain had risen to the second floor. The boy guessed it was due to Juzi's wish from yesterday and told her to cancel it immediately. She did so, but the storm didn't stop. Looking outside toward the storage shed, the boy noticed it had returned to normal. Just then, Pangtai called, asking why the boy didn't attend the opening ceremony, and then quickly hung up. The boy finally realized one of the 3 girls must have made a wish too, so he quietly called Kodama outside to help him. He had Kodama distract Juzi while he went to talk to Yuko alone. Suddenly, Yuko leaned on his shoulder, calling him big brother and begging him to stay by her side forever. But the boy didn't agree. Crushed and disappointed, Yuko's emotions erupted. Even the roof got blown off in anger. In the end, Yuko agreed to cancel her wish. The moment she did, the rain stopped. Everything went back to normal, and the boy's stolen house returned. returned. 2 weeks later, he planned to invite everyone over to his home, but first, he met with Juzi to explain, offering his family registry to prove that his twin brother didn't exist. He thought this would finally convince her, but Juzi suddenly tore up the document and declared she still believed he was the twin brother, and even said they could be one big family now, to which Yuko happily agreed. Surely this was the most absurd explanation you've ever heard. A perverted stream of slicing sounds followed. Kacha, kacha, cha-cha-cha-cha-cha-cha-cha-cha-cha. When Kodama saw Juzi kiss the boy, she was deeply heartbroken and stopped contacting him altogether, only watching from afar. Meanwhile, the boy was more focused on the day's sports event and the swimsuit competition. Just as he and Yuko were teasing each other, a bunny-masked twin-tail loli fell from the sky and landed right on the boy's face. Yuko's jealousy exploded instantly. The little girl kept calling him Oni-chan, but the boy had no idea who she was. Then she suddenly pulled out an ungrateful cat. Moments later, her brother showed up. It was Pangtai. After some greetings, Pangtai asked the boy to show his little sister Amy around the school. The boy originally planned to practice sprint scenes with Yuko, but after seeing Amy's sweet smile, Yuko calmly stepped aside. Amy turned into a bouncy princess, riding on the boy's shoulders through campus. On the way, they bumped into the vice president of the track club, whose disgusting remarks scared the boy away. Amy, finding school boring, pulled out a mini ungrateful cat and wished for the boy to become a prince and the school to become more fun. Suddenly, everything changed. The school transformed into a fusion of ancient Rome and European architecture, and all the girls were now wearing swimsuits. It became the boy's paradise, with everyone calling him Prince. Amy asked how she could become a swimsuit expert like him, and he told her to join the track club. That afternoon, Yuko sadly ate authentic Italian pasta alone. The boy went to check on her and found her upset. Amy had stolen all her time with him. As she expressed her frustration, she slurped her pasta like a spiral shuriken, swallowing it whole without chewing. The boy noticed even Yuko now called him Prince, and wore a swimsuit too. They went to find Kodama, who was the only one acting normal, scolding the boy as a pervert and wearing regular clothes. Realizing something was off, the boy spotted a massive ungrateful cat atop the school building. Yuko misunderstood and thought the swimsuit wish was his doing, so she stormed off in anger while the boy sulked on the rooftop. Juzi arrived with a cheeky back hug, still convinced the twin brother was real. She proposed visiting his home that weekend for a family meeting to figure out the truth about the school's change and Amy's ungrateful cat. At the boy's house, Juzi obsessively browsed his childhood photos, convinced they were all of his twin brother, and even stole a few. When she found a photo of Amy, the boy's introduction triggered a strange realization. All it took was one wish from this so-called Amy, and every girl's clothes vanished. As he examined the photo carefully, he remembered seeing Amy before. That day, the boy found Pangtai searching for his bunny sister, whom he called Nichi, someone he said had nothing to do with Amy. That's when the boy realized Amy's wish had been undone. He quickly found Kodama and explained his misunderstanding with Juzi, hoping to reconcile and asking for her help finding the bunny girl. Kodama said only a kiss would prove his sincerity, but still agreed like a loyal sidekick. Meanwhile, Yuko and Amy were locked in a rivalry, leading to a swimming showdown showdown. All-rounder Yuko won the race. Seeing the boy so happy made Amy happy too, so she canceled the friendship of all schoolgirls, exposing the entire school. Even Yuko got caught in the mess. The boy seized the moment to ask if the bunny's disappearance was Amy's fault. She denied it, but hearing that he might be recalling past memories made her excited. However, the boy couldn't remember ever being close with Amy, which made her disappointed. So she asked to spend one last day with him at the sports festival. That night, Kodama recovered the missing bunny and brought her back. The day after Amy's story unfolded, Amy ignored the boy's pleas again as a bunny fell right onto his face. When the boy tried to ask about the past, Amy suddenly became furious and canceled all her wishes, angry that the boy had wiped away all her old disappointments. The next day at school, the style hadn't fully returned to normal. The bunny told the boy she would be going abroad next month as an exchange student, leaving him even more confused about who had made the wishes. Amy sat on the school rooftop, seeming hopeless and refusing to listen to any explanations. The boy racked his brain but couldn't recall what had really happened before. Amy revealed her perfect smile wish was to look like the girl the boy once liked. Suddenly, Kodama's tone turned sarcastic, and the boy noticed she was possessed by the ungrateful cat. Kodama had wished not to be herself anymore. The school's style hadn't reverted because that was an old wish of the boy's, including the bunny going abroad and Amy being summoned to his side, all because the boy had completely forgotten his past wishes. Facing a dilemma, the boy didn't want either Amy or Kodama to disappear. He stepped forward to ask to cancel the wishes, but before possessed Kodama could finish, the boy's actions already made him the most skillful pervert the boy had ever seen. Ever since the boy saved Kodama with his mouth, his harem was peaceful. Kodama became clingy, giving him sugar overloads daily in public displays of affection.